This is a video about Immersive Reader. Not really an app in its own right, however, it's built into a few of the Microsoft Office software applications that can be used on mobile phones and tablets. So what we'll do is we'll have a look at how to access it through Lens, but it is also available through some of the other apps as well. So you can use it in Outlook, you can use it in Teams, you can use it in OneDrive, and so on. So let's try Lens. So first of all, let's capture a document. Okay, so I've taken a photograph of that through Microsoft Lens, which has been covered in the past. I'll confirm that, and then I will click on Done. And then we have various options where I can send it through these other different pieces of software like OneNote and Word and so on. OneNote also has Immersive Reader in it. But what I'll do is I'll click on Immersive Reader straight through Lens. So if I click on Immersive Reader, it processes it. And it takes a few minutes to process it because it's accessing it through the cloud. And here we go. So what you can see already is that what it's done is it's done some changes. So there's various different sorts of settings here, which I will come through in a second. So what it's done is it's got rid of all the clutter all the way around. It's simplified the layout on the page. So what you have now are just the words themselves and a clear white background, which is good in itself and makes it quite easy to read. The first thing is, what it will do is it will take this document that we've literally just photographed through Lens, and it will play that back to you. So click on play.
Neurodiversity is a term that seems to be everywhere these days. And increasingly, kids and young adults are using it to describe.
So if you wish to change the settings, you click on the settings cog next to that. So you can speed the voice up or slow the voice down, and you can change from a male to a female voice as you wish. So that's the first and most obvious thing to do. If you then click on the three lines on the top right hand corner, it then gives you the actual options through Immersive Reader itself. So first up, there's various things you can do about the text. If the text on the screen's too small, you can make the text much bigger using the slider bar. You can also click on increase space in between the words, which is already switched on. So it gives you more space if you find you read the same word twice or miss words out when you're reading words on the page or on the screen. The increased spacing allows your eyes to stay focused on the particular words on that line. You've also got fonts that you can do, so you can automatically change between fonts, that some of which have the twiddly bits on the end of the letters called serifs and some don't. So Comic Sans is a common one, and again if we click on the X in the top right hand corner, that takes us back, and now that is in Comic Sans. So we can go back again and change that back to Calibri. If you have some particular visual sensitivity and you find that coloured background, coloured papers, coloured overlays help, again you can change the colour on the screen of what you're reading in front of you. So you can say, okay, let's click on the blue, and that's now got a tick in it, so that will now work. And again, if we close that, it's now got a blue background. You can go back in again and you can change that to another colour if you wish. So we can have a yellow one, and it's now got a yellow background. So you can change the colour of the background of the document that you're reading. And just for the sake of everyone else, I'll change that back to white for now. And it will show the source formatting, but that's not something that particularly concerns us here. The second of the three tabs at the top will allow us to highlight syllables or highlight parts of speech. So you can see, and it will highlight the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives in those different colours it shows on the left-hand side of the screen. If you're looking for those parts of the speech, it will also, if you wish to, highlight syllables. So you can then switch that on and then click on the X. And what it will then do is it will break its words down into different syllables, which if you're struggling to be able to pronounce words, sometimes that helps. So the word there in the middle of the screen, neurodiverse. Well, new, ro, di, verse. So you can actually sit and say, right, I can work out what that says just from having the syllables highlighted for me. We can switch that back off. And then the third option allows us to switch on line focus. Well, what line focus does is if you find that when you're looking at the screen, even though there's not as many words on there, it's still a lot of words for you to focus on. What you can do is you can just have it highlight one line and it will grey the rest out, and you can then go down. So all the rest of them are great, so you're only focusing on that one line. If one line's too much, you can focus on 3 lines, or you can focus on 5 lines. So it will show 5 next. So you can do that as well. So that's line focus, which I shall switch off for now. There's a picture dictionary in there as well. With a picture dictionary, what you can do is, if you click on some of the words, what you can then do is you can then get it where it will show you an image of what it is in the dictionary. The dictionary is already working, so you can click on a word and it will tell you what that word is. And I'll come back to the rest of that in a moment. So it will give you a definition of what the word is, and it will read that definition out to you as well if you want it to. So we go back to that again. Picture dictionary switched on. And the other thing the document will do, as I've just demonstrated inadvertently, is it will convert the document or words in the document into other languages. So we have a whole series of languages we can pick here. So you can pick on any one of those. So let's pick on one, just almost at random. Let's go for Polish. So what it will do is you can take the document that you've got and it will then convert particular words in that document into Polish, and it will read them both out to you in English and Polish if that's your particular language. So if you pick the word mean, it will then read it in English.
Mean.
It will read it in Polish if you click on that.
Znaczy.
And because we've got picture dictionary switched on, it will show 2 different definitions, or however many there are, of mean. What does that mean? Or are you being mean? So that's what the picture dictionary does there too. So that's just translating individual words. What you can do is you can go in and you can say, I don't want you to translate the words, I want you to translate the whole document. So then you can close that down, and the whole document then is translated into, in this case, because that's what we chose, Polish. And you can then hear it read back to you in Polish if you click on the speech button at the bottom.
Neuroróżnorodność to termin, który wydaje się być wszędzie w dzisiejszych czasach.
Which I trust that's what it says in Polish. I don't know enough of Polish to be able to say for sure. So that's the translation button as well that you can then have switched on. You can combine various things. So you can say, well, what I would like you to have is I'd like to have a blue colour background, and I'd also like to have just one line focus, and I'd like to have it read to me.
Mean to be neurodiverse, and where does the term come from? In short, it means that there are many differences in the way people's brains.
So that's a quick whiz through the different main features of Immersive Reader. Immersive Reader in this respect, as I've said, is what we're looking at is as it works on mobile phones and on tablets. But Immersive Reader you'll also find in Microsoft Office applications that you'll use in college, whether you're using the desktop versions of things like Word and so on, or whether you're using Office 365 and you're using the web-based versions. The application is there, so it's useful to use, so please use it. And thank you very much for listening.